Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di, and today I have a book tag for you. So this is the Let's Be Friends book tag, which is an original tag which is done by Jenaya over at Live a Thousand Lives. I will link her video down in the description box below in case you are interested in watching hers as well. I definitely recommend it. I've really been enjoying Jenaya's content this year, and she's become a new friend of mine, and so I'm glad to do this tag. She actually tagged me in her original tag, and it's taking me quite a few months to get around to doing it. I'm sorry, Jenaya, I am doing it now. But yeah, so this tag has two separate sections to it. The first set of questions is questions about me to let you know a little bit more about me, and then the second set of questions are more bookish questions to let you know about my reading tastes and things like that. So let's get started. So the first question is obviously, what is your name? And I am Di, and then it asks for my age, and I never ever answer this question, but I will tell you that I am probably older than you think I am. The next question is, what is your sign? And I am a Virgo. What is your favorite color? My favorite colors are turquoise and teal. The next question is, what are your favorite hobbies? And I am a knitter. I actually have a second channel where you can see everything that I've knit on every month, kind of like a wrap-up style video, just showing you what I knit on in the month every month. And so if you're interested in knitting content, definitely check out the link down in the description box below. In every video of mine, my secondary channel is linked, so if at any time you're interested in seeing what I'm knitting on, that would be the place to do it. I also play some video games, and then I also watch Korean dramas from time to time. I have watched Korean dramas more in the past than I do currently, but I still do enjoy watching them. And then I also religiously watch two Korean variety shows, which are Running Man and 2 Days and 1 Night. So those are weekly shows, and I watch them every week. So the last question about me is, what is your favorite ice cream? And for me, this would be Rocky Road and mint chocolate chip from Baskin Robbins. It has to be from Baskin Robbins. I'm very, very picky about this. If it's not from Baskin Robbins, it's not my favorite. But those two flavors from Baskin Robbins are my favorite. I would say if we're anywhere else, I would probably get Rocky Road. But yeah, those are usually my two favorite flavors of ice cream. So the next questions are bookish questions. And the first question is, what is your favorite genre? List at least 3. And so for this one, I would say mystery. If you've watched my channel at all, you know that I read a lot of cozy mysteries, but I also read a lot of other subgenres of mysteries. So mystery is definitely one of the genres that I read the most of. And then I would say urban fantasy. I have been known to read urban fantasy from time to time. And then the last one, I would say manga, because I read a ton of manga. And so those would be my favorite genres. My least favorite genres would probably be romance, and I would say more of the romance books that will follow a couple and their road into getting into a relationship, and following that relationship, dealing with the hardships of their relationship. I don't like to read those type of stories. Now, every once in a while, I will read one, but it's far and few between. I will also read books that have romance in it if there's another element to it. So like a mystery or a thriller, I will read those, but I tend to shy away from the books that are just about a romantic relationship. I don't enjoy those very much. The next genre I would say would be psychological thrillers. Don't really enjoy psychological thrillers. I haven't found one that has caught my attention. In every psychological thriller I've read so far, I've figured everything out really early, and I hate that. So psychological thrillers would be another genre that I dislike. And then I would say historical. I tend not to enjoy historical books past 50 years ago. So anything maybe 40 or 50 years ago is fine. But anything past that, I tend not to enjoy. I think you're only supposed to pick 3 for this one, but I'm going to add on one more. So I'm going to also say nonfiction. I tend to like to watch my nonfiction rather than read it. So those would be my least favorite genres. The next question is, what is your favorite book or series? And then list 3. So for this one, you know, anytime I'm asked for a recommendation, this is the series that I always give. It is the Ghost Hunter Mystery Series by Victoria Laurie. I have my 2 favorites from that series right here, which is What a Ghoul Wants and Ghouls, Ghouls, Ghouls. What a Ghoul Wants takes place in Wales, and Ghouls, Ghouls, Ghouls takes place in Ireland. And these were my 2 favorites of the entire series, though I do enjoy all of the installments in that series. It's definitely a series I want to reread soon, and I have recently picked them all up, so I'm glad to have them in my library. And so this is my favorite series. It's one that I definitely ask other people to read if they ask me for a recommendation. And then I would say In a Dark, Dark Room by Alvin Schwartz, or this is retold by Alvin Schwartz. Pictures by Dirk Zimmer. I read this in October. You can hear my thoughts on it in my wrap-up for October. But this is a children's book that has some short stories. And yeah, I really enjoy it. My favorite short story in this collection is called The Green Ribbon. And it's one that I was introduced to in my childhood, and this book has just stuck with me through my adulthood, so that would definitely be another favorite. And then lastly, I would say Sweet Valley Twins and Friends, The Magic Christmas. This is a special edition, I think, in the Sweet Valley Twins and Friends series. I wasn't into Sweet Valley Twins, and my sister was. This is actually her book, but she kind of grew out of these really fast, and so when she decided to get rid of all of her Sweet Valley Twins book, I stole this one. So it's been with me since we were kids, and I just really enjoy the story. It follows the twins and them getting into a fight on Christmas Eve, and then they get transported into this magic land where they're separated and need to try to find a way back to each other, and then obviously a way back home. And so I really enjoy this one. I try to read it every year around this time, Christmas time. I don't think I did last year, but I really enjoy this one. It's on my reread forever list. And yeah, so that would be my last favorite. So of course, after that is what is your least favorite book? And for this one, I would say Gone Girl. I remember not enjoying Gone Girl, but I do know that after I read that book, I kind of purged it from my memory. So I can't really tell you exactly why I didn't like it, but I think it was because things just got too convoluted in the end of that one. Plus, there was a lot of hype on it. It's to the point where I had finished reading the book and I just never wanted to watch the movie after reading the book because I disliked the book that much. So I would say Gone Girl, and then maybe The Hunger Games. There's something that happens at the end of The Hunger Games that made me feel like I read the series for nothing, and I hate that feeling. I enjoyed everything in The Hunger Games up until that point, and that point ruined everything for me. So I will say that those are probably my 2 least favorites, though I do enjoy watching the Hunger Games movies. So I will watch the movies. I'll spend the time to watch the Hunger Games movies. I will never ever spend the time to reread those books. I do own the books still. I have them electronically, which is why you're seeing a picture here instead of the actual book. But yeah, those would probably be my least favorite books. The next question is, do you DNF books? And I say yes, I do DNF books, though I don't DNF books often. I really need to learn how to DNF books more, because more often than not, I will suffer through a book until the end. I don't know why. Like, I keep hoping something is going to happen to change my mind. And more often than not, it doesn't. So, yeah. If you look at my DNF shelf, there are under 10 books on there right now on Goodreads. It's a very new thing for me. I'm trying to get better at DNFing books, but I actually am thinking I will DNF a book this month. So that's a step forward. I'm trying to DNF more. I do DNF books. The next question is ebook or audiobook, and I say both. I read ebooks, I listen to audiobooks. They both serve different purposes for me, so depending on what I need at the time, I will choose one or the other. But yeah, I will do both. The next question is, what is your favorite bookish memory? And for this one, I'm going to say when I was in the first grade, I think it was the first grade. I tried to confirm with my mother on this, and she thinks it's the first grade. But we were borrowing books a lot at that time. I've always been a reader. We always borrowed books from the library. And so when I was in the first grade, she had borrowed a book from me called Snip, Snap, Snurr, Learn to Swim. And I believe this book is by Maj Linderman. You'll see it on the screen. But it's a children's book about these three brothers who learn how to swim. And I remember my mom and I reading that book together. And then I immediately wanted to learn how to swim. And I was a fish out of water for the longest of time, to the point where I even joined a competitive swim team when I was a little bit older. And then I joined my high school swim team for 1 year in high school as well. I didn't continue with that because I was in a band program, and that takes up a lot of your time. If you know someone in band, it pretty much consumes your life. And so, yeah, I enjoyed band. It got me to college. It got me through college. And so it was a great experience for me. But that book, Snip, Snap, Snurr, Learn How to Swim, or Learn to Swim, was the thing that made me want to swim. And I remember like going to the pool with my mom and her teaching me how to like try to float and swim without the floaties. I have very vivid memories of doing that. But yeah, so opposite of that, I actually also read its sister series, which was Flicka Ricka Dicka, I believe. I don't remember any particular installment in that series, but I did read them. So that would be my favorite bookish memory. The next question is, what is your favorite trope? And for this one, I don't know that I have any favorite tropes. I even asked my daughter and my mom to see if they thought if I had any favorite tropes, and they couldn't really think of any either. Like, I have buzzwords, but not really tropes. So like mystery is a buzzword for me. Serial killer would be another one for me. Paranormal would be another, or supernatural, haunted house, things like that. I have more buzzwords that I enjoy rather than tropes. So yeah, I can't think of any tropes that I favor. But opposite that, the next question is least favorite trope. And for this one, I can definitely think of a few. So miscommunication is something that I absolutely hate. More often than not, I think, why don't you just open your mouth and tell them this, you know? I hate miscommunication because it just leads to a lot of unnecessary drama. And so miscommunication is one. The other one would be love triangle. And lots of cozy mysteries have love triangle as an element to it. And even though I enjoy cozy mysteries, I hate love triangles. Like, there was a time where almost every cozy mystery I was reading had a love triangle in it, and I'm like, how realistic is this? How often in your lifetime are you going to be somebody or know somebody who's in a love triangle. It's unrealistic to me, and there are a lot of times the person that I'm rooting for in the love triangle is not the person the character ends up with, so that's irritating as well. But yes, those two tropes I dislike quite a bit. The second to the last question is a bookish goal for the remainder of the year, and every year I try to read 52 novels in the year. So even though I set my Goodreads goal at 100, that obviously will include manga, and you can tell just by looking at my Goodreads goal this year that I've read a lot of manga because I've already surpassed those 100. But I believe I am on track to finish those 52 novels by the end of 2021. And so that is my bookish goal for the remainder of the year. Now, I would say BookTube is kind of related to that. So I've never really been one to be concerned, I guess, about my subscriber count. But I noticed recently that I am pretty close to 400 subscribers. I am like in the teens. I need like 15 more subscribers, I think, to get to 400. So that's kind of exciting. So if you are watching this and haven't subscribed, if you could subscribe, that would be great. I'd really, really appreciate it. So yeah, those would be my bookish goals for the rest of 2021. And then the last question is to recommend a book I think people should read, but not many people have heard of. And for this one, I am going with Solo Leveling by Chu Gong. This is a light novel, so you can see it looks exactly like a novel inside. This one follows a monster hunter named Jin Woo-sung, and he ends up being a player in a game. So this one has a lot of monster hunting, monster battling, gaming aspects. And so if you are a gamer and are familiar with like the leveling up process and assigning points to certain attributes for your character to make them stronger, this book has a lot of that in it. And it also has, you know, some unscrupulous people, and Jin Woo-sung is trying to figure out the ins and outs of the game that he got into also, so there's a little bit of a mystery element in him trying to figure out what he's gotten himself into. There's also a family element because his mom is in the hospital and his younger sister needs to still be taken care of, and so there's a little bit of that as well. And I just really, really enjoyed this. This one also has an audiobook version, which is narrated by Ki Hong Lee, and you might recognize the name because he is the actor that played Minho in the Maze Runner movies. And I really enjoyed that as well. I also read the manhwa, which is the graphic novel version of this story, and I enjoyed that as well. I do have a video on my channel, I'll link it down in the description box below, talking about this book and the audiobook and the manhwa, giving my comparison of the different formats and letting you know which version I will be continuing with this series. I definitely think more people should be reading this, and I don't think a lot of people outside people who read manga know about this one because it's also shelved in the manga section. So if you don't venture there in the bookstore, you probably don't even know this exists. So yeah, definitely check this one out. Again, I'll link my series First Impressions video down in the description box in case you're interested in learning more about this one and hearing my thoughts on it. So obviously this is a tag video, so I'm supposed to tag some people, but I recently did a different tag and I tagged a bunch of people there. So I'm not going to tag anybody here, but if you are watching this and you would like to be my friend, definitely do this tag. I'll tag you and let me know when you've done it so that I can watch your video, because I would love to know more about you and be friends. If you don't have a channel, just list some of your answers to the questions down in the comments below, and then we can chat. And so yeah, I will also link all of the questions down in the description box below, so if you're interested in doing this tag, you can copy and paste those from there. So if nothing else and you would just like to let me know that you were here, if you could leave me a Christmas tree emoji down in the comments below, that would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out. And that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.